So our lead this hour coming from Pro Bouncy Ball. And we go where the news of the sporting day takes us. And today it's into the Big Easy, where Zion, not only a national park, but also a basketball player, Zion Williamson, you know that he signed the 5-year max rookie contract. We talked about that in the past with the Pelicans. And that contract's worth in the ballpark of $193 million. He got that contract on his 22nd birthday. On my 22nd birthday, I got a slice of cake. He got a $193 million contract. But you knew that part of the story. But now you are about to hear the rest of the story. You see, the contract has a clause in the fine print that incentivizes Zion Williamson to not be a lard ass, that he has to keep his weight and body fat under control. What's this, you say? Tell me more. Tell me more. All right, I'm going to tell you more. So Zion is now mandated under contract to undergo periodic weigh-ins like a boxer throughout the length of the contract. And there's even more than that. We've learned that Zion Williamson's total weight and body fat percentage, body mass index, all that, must be below 295, or the amount of guaranteed money starts vanishing into thin air. And you're going to take money out of this guy's pocket if his body fat percentage and total weight are not where the team wants it. So the question, now people get upset by this. These same people that get upset by everything are infuriated by this clause. It's not fair. It's fat shaming and all that. So the question, is the Zion Williamson weight clause in bounds or out of bounds? So I have this one after thorough instant replay review. I have this in bounds. In bounds. I've got Chariot, Austin Powers, and Sesame Street. And we will connect all of these things together, and we are going to make the baba ganoush is what we're going to make, the baba ganoush. Get the eggplant ready. So first of all, I am the perfect person to talk about this story, and I'll tell you why. I'm fat, okay? So I know fat. Fat knows fat, and I'm fat. Now, I've lost a lot of weight. I still am a large human being. So I relate to Zion Williamson. That's how I relate to him. And to me, Zion is the great fat hope. And people are upset he's being treated like a soldier in a boot camp and all that. But I say it's fair because that goes with the job. It's a high-stakes game of poker. The Pelicans are moving their chips into the middle of the table, and Zion agreed to the contract, just like Kyler agreed to his contract that had the clause in there, and then he got all flustered because people were making fun of him. But Zion knew that was in the contract. He agreed to the contract. They want to make sure, they being the team, that Zion does not eat them out of contention. Now, you might remember, if you listen regularly, that in a previous episode of the show, we pointed out that this contract was a mistake for the Pelicans, that Zion had not earned the contract, that Williamson was an absentee employee and guilty of truancy. Now, for that MALLER monologue, we got roasted. Oh, you're a hot take guy. That's why you're doing overnights. By a small but boisterous band of Pelican apologists. Well, looky here. Now our chariot awaits as we will make our victory lap around the track, and we will make sure to wave. Hello, remember me? Yeah, we're waving to the crowd there, giving the photograph opportunity, the photo op opportunity there to celebrate this turn of events, because this weight clause is a lot of things, but it is validation of that previous take. It's take validation. The Pelicans are yelling at you through their actions. They don't trust Zion, that they have their doubts. So they put this fat clause in there to keep him away from the great foods of New Orleans, the gumbo, the crawfish, the jambalaya, all that. And if you are dependable, if you are reliable, and your work ethic is impeccable when it comes to physical fitness, it's not needed. Right? LeBron James, we like to goof on LeBron James. None of the contracts LeBron signed has had a weight clause in it. Doesn't need it. But Zion is the antithesis of impeccable work ethic, reliable, dependable. He's the polar opposite. Williamson played his 1 year at Duke. He was 285 pounds. Good for him. Reminded me of when I was playing basketball back in the day. He fractured his foot back in 2021, so summer of last year. And, in fact, almost a year ago. Almost exactly a year ago. He then showed up to training camp. He got injured in July. He showed up to training camp in September. And he was big enough to start at left tackle for the Saints. He was over 300 pounds. Now, secondly, will the Pelicans follow through on enforcing the fat clause? And this is where it gets really, really interesting. And I'm going to tell you why. Zion, what he can do now is call Kyler Murray for his cliff notes on how to get out of an uncomfortable clause in the contract because you don't like it. Play the victim card, right? Raise a hullabaloo, and then see if the team backs down. But assuming that this team, unlike the Cardinals, the Pelicans actually have a spine and they're not a jellyfish, and this weight clause has legs, looking into the crystal ball, will the Pelicans follow through on enforcing the fat clause if Zion eats one too many po' boys? If that happens. Well, so it's all about the receipts. It's all about the receipts on this, as usually is the case. It's a results-based business. If Zion stays healthy and plays up to his expectations as a former number one overall pick, he can be in the next generation of Austin Powers movies as Fat Bastard. All right, they could put him in there, and they will laugh and talk about how great that is, and he can hang out and look like Jabba the Hutt as long as he's putting up 25 points and 15 rebounds a game, and they'll say he's fit, fat, and all that stuff. But it's a double-edged sword because on the other side, if the Pelicans are hanging out in the sewer and he's often in street clothes because that's what he's been hurt most of his career, then the Pelicans will have zero tolerance. That'll be their policy, a zero-tolerance policy. And they're going to make him run gassers. It's back when I played football back in the see that tree? No, not that tree. The really far away tree. Yeah, that one. You run. Run until you puke. Run. I think PTSD. All right, final thought. So more embarrassing, the Zion weight clause or the Kyler Murray homework clause, which has been taken out of his contract. That's the toss-up question, and it is not even close. It is not even close. The now canceled independent study clause wins, and it wins by a country mile. Okay, that is a Sesame Street situation. One of these things isn't like the others, okay? And that's the Kyler Murray contract. That's why he raised hell, and it was a big quagmire, and he got out. But Zion, in his fat clause, he can take a number from the deli counter. There have been a handful of players, probably more than that. I'm probably going low when I say handful. But a bunch of athletes over the years, sporadically, that have gotten the fatty clause in the contract. And Kyler Murray was a pioneer in the homework clause. And he ruined it. He sullied it by huffing and puffing like the three little pigs, appropriately enough, huffing and puffing. And he blew that clause out of the contract. But so far, Zion has been unable to do it. He's been unable to pull it off. And I guess that's the difference, basketball versus football. But we will keep an eye on this developing story. And I want you to rest easy that in my contract at Fox Sports Radio, I am in fighting shape to sit on my badunkadunk for 4 hours a night, 5 nights a week, and then 3 hours of podcasting a week. So I am able to provide, with great physical fitness and vocal stamina, marginal overnight talk radio.